Mary's mum felt uneasy, but put the little pieces of paper back in the envelope and tucked it in her pocket. She helped Mary get ready for bed. She offered to let Mary sleep in her bed, but Mary said, "Now that the monster's not scary anymore, I'm not afraid." Her mum smiled nervously. Now Mary was not afraid, but she wasn't so sure about herself. She kissed Mary good night and left the room. Mum went downstairs. "Jack will never believe this," she said softly to herself as she entered the living room. "They settled for the night?" Dorothy answered yes, and with hardly any fuss, she cuddled up close to him on the couch, and they watched television. Mary drifted off to sleep. About an hour later she was startled awake by another thump. She sat up in bed. "Monster, is that you?" "Actually, it is Mongster. Uncle Mac said humankind dropped the G in our names thousands of years ago," Spencer responded. Mary glanced over the edge of the bed at Spencer. "Oh," she said, puzzled. "What's your name?" Spencer asked. "Mary," she replied. "What's your name?" Mary wanted to know. "Spencer," he said as he hoisted himself up onto the bed. He struggled with the blankets to pull himself up. Once on top of the bed, Spencer stopped and looked at Mary. "You're not going to eat me, are you?" he asked hesitantly. "No, are you going to eat me?" Mary asked nervously. "Of course not," Spencer declared and started to giggle. Mary giggled too. "Shh, Mum may hear us," Mary whispered. Spencer stifled his giggles and sat cross-legged on the bed facing Mary. "Do you live under my bed?" Mary asked. "No, I live in Mong, but my portal is under your bed," Spencer answered. "Oh," Mary said, "what's a portal? Where is Mong?" "The portal is how I get from my world to yours," Spencer replied. "Mong is like an underground city. We who live there are called Mongsters." Fred appeared in the doorway. "You're going to get in trouble," Fred said. "Who are you talking to?" "Spencer. You know, the monster," Mary replied. She looked at Spencer just as he started to fade. "Huh?" Mary exclaimed. Fred started to laugh. "I told you there was no such thing as monsters," he teased and walked down the hall back to his room. Spencer slowly reappeared. "How did you do that?" Mary asked Spencer. "Do what?" Spencer wanted to know. "Disappear," Mary said. "Oh, that is because he doesn't believe in us." "Who, Fred?" Mary inquired. "Is that his name?" Spencer asked. "Yeah, he's my brother." "Quiet down and get to sleep," Mum called to the children from the bottom of the stairs. "I spoke too soon," she said. "Dorothy, the commercial is over," Jack called to his wife from the living room. "Your bed is really comfortable," Spencer said as he stretches out. "Yeah, it is," Mary said, although she never really thought about it before. "So soft and cozy," Spencer said, yawning. Mary smiled as she watched Spencer drift off to sleep. She lay down, and very soon after she was asleep herself. Mary's parents stopped at her door and peeked in before going to bed. They didn't notice the tiny creature nestled against the footboard sound asleep. A while later Spencer awoke and realized he was still on Mary's bed. "That was the best sleep ever," he said to himself. He hopped down off the bed and snuck to the open doorway. He peeked out down the hall. All was quiet. He made his way down the stairs. He hated stairs. It was tiring going down, and even harder going up, especially if you had to carry anything. He finally made it to the bottom. He made his way to the kitchen and managed to get the fridge door open. He opened the crisper and took an apple and put it in his bag. "Ah, grapes, my favorite," he said to himself as he pulled off several. He popped one into his mouth as he continued to fill his bag. He closed up his bag and scanned the countertops for anything interesting. He pulled out the drawers until he had made a set of steps and climbed up to get a better look. Cheese-covered puff," he whispered, and opened the bag and took out a handful. He sat on the counter munching on one, wondering what time it was. He decided he'd best get moving since he wasn't sure how long he had slept. The puff made him thirsty, so he stopped at the taps and had a drink, and then proceeded to climb down the drawer steps. He closed each one as he descended. Spencer started to climb back up the stairs. He was just ready to stand to go to the second step when he realized how heavy his bag was. He struggled to regain balance, but the bag weighed him down. Down he went. Thump. He lay there for a minute. "I'm going to feel that in the morning," he whispered to himself. He stood, listened for a moment to make sure he hadn't woken anyone, then took the bag and placed it on the step. He then crawled up without any further problems. as long as you don't count forgetting the bag and having to crawl back down for it. Finally, he made it to the top. He made one last stop in the laundry room. He did a sniff test to make sure it was clean. Then he jammed one of Jack's work socks into his bag and made his way back to Mary's room. Spencer crawled under the bed and squeezed in between the wall and Mary's headboard. He looked up at his portal. If I fall like I did on the stairs because of my heavy bag, I will wake Mary up for sure and possibly hurt myself, he thought to himself. I got an idea, he thought. He took off his belt and tied it to his bag. This way I can pull the bag up once I'm in. He smiled at his ingenuity. Uncle Max would be proud. He'd probably say that's using the old noggin. Spencer stifled a giggle. He hoisted his pants up as far as he could, because without the belt on he could feel them slowly sliding down. He crouched down and jumped up for all he was worth. He made it. He was so pleased with himself he almost let go. The portal started slowly pulling him in. I wish I could find the instructions for the portal placement Uncle Max gave me, he thought to himself as he passed through the portal. The portal slowly closed behind him.